Introducing Cloud9 Fiber to Lawrenceburg. We take great pride in being the only locally owned and operated internet company within Lawrenceburg and Lawrence County. We're now offering up to gigabit services with plans starting at $50 per month. Surf the internet with blazing fast speeds and reliability, all while keeping your investment within Lawrence County. For more information, visit cloud9fiber.com to request for us to build your area next.
Good evening and welcome to the Dave Ray Show. I'm your host, Dave Ray, here with Chief Executive Officer of Cloud9 Fiber, Landon Saunders. How are you, Landon?
I'm doing well. That's a big title there.
It is.
I don't know if owners maybe just a little more.
Yeah, we could go with owner.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Owner of Cloud9 Fiber. So how are you, Landon?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you?
Good. I can't complain. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. Landon, I see Landon, he'll walk in the radio station all the time, and you know, I was like, hey, Landon, let's do an interview one day because I think it'd be great. So, and Landon has just recently sponsored the show, so I appreciate that, and all of us here on the team appreciate that a lot. So,
well, awesome. I certainly look forward to this, and have been looking forward to it for a little bit now.
Yeah. All right. So, first question, let's talk about Cloud9 Fiber. What is it, and how long has the company been established?
So, I established Cloud9 Wireless back in 2018. Mm-hmm. So we're coming up on 5 years now, starting in 2022. And it's a very interesting way that how all this has happened and come about. So Cloud9 Wireless acquired ABG Wireless, which Kevin Wright started back in 2007.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long
we've got
ago.
some customers that have been with us now for almost 15 years, which is really, really crazy.
That is crazy.
So since then, we have we're starting Cloud9 Fiber. We decided we should change the name because we're no longer a wireless company if we're providing fiber service. So, but we started that about 4 months ago.
Wow.
So we're certainly looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So there's all kinds of internet terms a lot of people don't know, and I feel like I'm somewhat technologically advanced. I'm not going to say I'm anywhere near as close to you as technologically advanced, but what's the difference between fiber and cable and any other type? Because I think there's a DSL or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So fiber is a longer-term solution. Cable, DSL, both of those weren't even intended to really carry internet.
Wow. So
internet was kind of a afterthought for those different types of connections, I guess you could say. So with fiber, though, it was intended to carry internet. And what's great is over time, as technology continues to advance, all you have to do is replace the equipment on either end instead of actually having to replace, the fiber itself.
Right.
So it's a more long-term solution without, kind of like how wireless works. You started off with 3G, 4G, 5G.
Right.
It's changing all the time because they have to keep changing all these different technologies. But fiber, it stays constant a lot longer.
Wow. So what is fiber itself? Isn't it like some type of glass or something?
Wow, you're right. So it's actually a flexible glass.
Wow.
And it basically allows internet to travel closer to the speed of light versus the older terrestrial fixed wireless versus DSL versus any of those.
Yeah, that's crazy for my mind to get around that a piece of glass carries information basically.
Right. Yeah.
That's seriously. I mean, mind is blown for real. So how many customers do you have, and what locations do you serve? Because I know wireless is probably a little bit larger than fiber right now. So
so our wireless company, we've kept growing and growing and growing, but we kept growing farther and farther away from Lawrenceburg. And so that's kind of what I realized. You know what? Maybe it would make more sense for me to focus in on one area and maybe my hometown. Why not? So I decided that that made a lot of sense for us. And we currently the wireless company spans from Summertown all the way down to Rogersville, Alabama.
Wow, that's impressive.
So we cover about 600 square miles. And I didn't realize that until a couple years ago. I was like, wow, that's a lot
got some ground
that's a lot
coverage.
Of ground.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting to us, and we currently have about 950-ish customers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really a lot.
It is.
Because I mean, you've got what 44,000 people in Lawrence County in general. I mean,
Right.
but that's per person. You're talking about customers, households, right? So I mean, that's a really substantial number. So, why is fiber internet important to rural communities?
So what's become very interesting over the past 3 or 4 years, there's been a huge gap as far as internet and where you can get reliable, high-speed internet. So these larger cities, of course, generally have better internet connections. And since COVID has happened, we've noticed a huge shift in what people need as far as work, as far as education.
And education for sure.
Absolutely. So if rural areas don't have high-speed internet, a lot of these people are going to end up moving to areas that do.
Right.
Which, we don't want people leaving the great county of Lawrence County.
Right. Exactly.
Certainly don't want that. So that's kind of where we've hopefully stepped in, and people see that. And we're hoping to make a big change here.
Right. Well, that brings an interesting point because I've never thought of it that way. Your business is bringing people to Lawrence County specifically because you're impacting their lives directly. Because I don't know anybody who doesn't at least have a cell phone. It may not be a smartphone, but they at least have a cell phone.
For sure. So we're certainly helping bridge the gap to keep people in Lawrence County and to bring people to Lawrence County. Right. Because there's also another shift. There's people in these cities and different states that are choosing to move here. I've got several friends that have moved to Lawrence County actually.
Wow.
And they're able to manage their businesses or go to school and do everything they need to in certain areas in Lawrence County that have sufficient internet.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's exciting.
And right now you're installing fiber on Springer Road, right?
Yes.
So update us
on our areas. Yes.
Okay. So I think we've got a coverage map. It may be up on the screen by now, but
there you go.
Anyways, give us an update on the installation process and how things are going in that arena right now.
Sure. So right now we have our main fiber cable pretty much spanning all of Springer Road.
Wow.
So that gets coverage to about half of Lawrenceburg.
There you go.
So right now, the areas that we've got in green are the areas that we are currently installing. And we're looking at about 2 to 3 week install times on that, just because we've had such a load of people requesting service.
Right.
So it's very exciting. The purple area, that area is an area we are still in the process of expanding to. We've got our main fiber there, but we don't have splice cases and the other tools and things that we need to have there to actually hook customers up yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the yellow area has become a very interesting area. That area where it actually turned out that those poles are owned by AT&T.
Wow.
So with that, I have to get a separate pole attachment agreement for that specific area. And AT&T, of course, they take forever. They're just, they're in no rush to certainly help me.
Right. Well, internet versus internet,
Right. So, but that is something that we're working on, and we certainly hope to be able to cover that area in yellow here very soon. As soon as we get our contract back, that area should be covered within a matter of days.
So who are some, what kind of area are we looking at that they can, what is the soonest you can get fiber plugged into somebody's house and get it up and running? What start time maybe?
So you're looking at, if you live on the numbered streets, Douglas through First Street, you're looking at in ballpark 1 week to 3 weeks.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Of course, we hope to bring that time down over time. Once we have our main fibers and our lateral fibers installed throughout all of Lawrenceburg, that time will come down because now we can focus a little more on installing customers instead of actually building the network.
Right. So we will be right back after this quick commercial break.
Introducing Cloud9 Fiber to Lawrenceburg. We take great pride in being the only locally owned and operated internet company within Lawrenceburg and Lawrence County. We're now offering up to gigabit services with plans starting at $50 per month. Surf the internet with blazing fast speeds and reliability, all while keeping your investment within Lawrence County. For more information, visit cloud9fiber.com to request for us to build your area next.
Industrial LED Lighting is Middle Tennessee's choice for quality, affordable lighting solutions. With many years of experience and many satisfied customers, Industrial LED stands ready to serve you. Our large variety of high-quality products and great customer service ensures that you always walk out satisfied. Industrial LED Lighting is located at 319 Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg. Stop in today and let us serve you. Industrial LED Lighting, we are the light.
Ray's Produce and More is a family-owned and operated produce house located at the west end of Lawrence County, Tennessee. Ray's Produce offers a large selection of fresh and local produce and much more. Headed to Laurel Hill Lake, we offer a great selection of fishing bait and live worms too. Stop in Monday through Saturday from 9:30 to 5:30 for exceptional customer service and even better produce. Visit us at 42 Chisholm Crossing, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, or give us a call at 931-629-0717. Don't forget, you can find us on Facebook too.
And we're back with Landon Saunders, who is the owner of Cloud9 Fiber. I'll get it right this time. So let's talk about this for a second. What are your plans going forward for your company? Because I know that's a biggie.
Sure. So obviously with the wireless company, we have really focused on the rural areas. That's where the rural areas were really lacking. We've come to the point where, we've provided sufficient coverage to most of the rural areas. I know some people might not be very happy with that statement, but, it's come to a point where it makes the most sense for us to continue moving forward with fiber. So we had to start here in Lawrenceburg because this is where all of our internet starts for our wireless company.
Exactly.
So from here, we have to continue branching out from Lawrenceburg. So I've been pretty happy with the rate we've actually been moving forward so far. We've pretty much got, the east half of Lawrenceburg covered.
That's impressive.
Over the course of, a couple months. So hopefully, beginning of next year, I hope to be on the other side of the highway.
That's awesome.
Start working on the other side of Lawrenceburg. That way, we have the majority of Lawrenceburg covered within about 6 months.
Wow.
So,
there's a lot of people out there, I won't speak any names of other businesses, but, they're having trouble with their current business. And I'm not necessarily talking about trouble with the internet. I'm talking about maybe contracts that are holding them back and things like that. So why should a potential customer choose you over a competitor maybe?
Sure. Well, I believe there's several reasons. I've grown up here. I'm local.
Right.
Our customer service is local.
Yes. And good, as a matter of fact, because we actually have it at our house.
There you go. So, we've, if you call our customer service, somebody actually picks up the phone here in Lawrenceburg.
Right.
That's such a concept nowadays.
Yes.
It seems like. And, you could even get to know them by name, or you might even know them.
Right, exactly.
It's an interesting idea for an internet company, So that's something that's been also dear to my heart is, why can't Lawrenceburg sustain itself as far as internet? Why do we have to rely on all these larger companies when everything and the knowledge and everything is here in Lawrenceburg already?
Right. So how does your company give back to Lawrence County?
Well, there's several things we do. Obviously, we hire local employees. We refrain from hiring many contractors. We enjoy getting to know our employees and know who's doing the work and know that our work is good work.
Right.
That there's a whole new level of quality control that can be brought in and kept under our roof as far as making sure everything's done properly and correctly.
Exactly.
And that improves reliability.
Right. And you're also more satisfied with your work when you see that you've done it and, it's quality like you're talking about for sure. So, talk about Cloud9's, Cloud9's fiber. I keep wanting to say wireless, even though it is, but fiber's what we're talking about here. So, talk about the customer service.
Sure. So, as I said, when you call our customer service. You will actually be talking to someone that's here in Lawrenceburg. I take a lot of pride in that personally, because I believe that that's the best service that you could really ask for and want. We don't have a calling menu where you have to push this button or that button or this button to get to where you need to go.
Right.
Your calls are answered from a human, promptly.
Right, exactly. You know what I hate so much is when I call a company and a robot picks up, please make the statement of what you're trying to convey or whatever, and then I'll speak and be like, oh, we don't understand. But I'm just like, it'd be so easier if a human just picked up the phone. They would have already figured out, what I needed. So what is one thing you would say to someone interested in a career in networking? Because, there might be some people out there. I've thought about it. I don't think I'd be capable, but anyways.
Sure. So certainly, you must be a very quick learner, and you must not get very stuck in your ways, because technology is always changing, technology is always advancing. So somebody that is not willing to learn or get stuck doing something the same way for a long time, that probably not something you would want in networking. So you must be a very fast-paced learner, and it must interest you. I mean, that's really the biggest thing. Sometimes you start scratching your head about something, and you're like, why is this not working?
Oh, yes.
And, you have to know people that would know the answer. That way you can rely on others and know those proper people that can help you out when you need it,
Well, networking, like I said, it's a big deal. From what little I've seen, it looks fun, but at the same time, it's really complex, it seems like.
It can be very complex, yes.
So is there anything you'd like to add that I've missed? Because I'm sure I've missed a whole lot of stuff, because we could talk about this all day, I'm sure.
Sure. Something that I do want to make very clear, and it seems to be kept getting brought back up over and over again. We are entirely self-funded. Most internet companies can't really say that anymore. Now, grant funding isn't a bad thing for internet companies. They certainly help. But I don't want to rely on that grant funding to make sure that my company keeps growing.
Exactly.
That's where I think, a lot of internet companies could be getting complacent. Because there will be a point in time where grants might stop happening.
Exactly.
And those companies have to be capable of growing themselves.
Right.
So, you have to, that's why we've focused on starting in Lawrenceburg. That way we get the revenue flowing. It is a business. Right. We get the revenue flowing, and we can use that revenue to keep growing.
Wow. And that's seriously impressive, because as a business owner, your business has to be on a sturdy foundation. If you want it to keep going well, and you're exactly right talking about, those grants not always being there, because, political climate has a lot to do with grants, in my opinion.
It absolutely does.
And I'm not talking about politics necessarily right now. I'm just saying in general, they have a lot of sway in, grant funding that's available, grant funding that's not available, et cetera. So
for sure. And I also want to make sure that everybody knows that, we ask you to support local. We support our local businesses as well.
Right.
We'll go and get tools. We'll go and get the supplies that we need to do our day-to-day job in our local businesses here in Lawrenceburg. I only eat local businesses, actually.
And local businesses are the best too. When
they are. I mean,
wise.
you're supporting a family.
Exactly.
You're supporting employees that live here, work here locally. That's the way that everything needs to be kept, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I'm really big about relationships, networking, not the same type of networking. I'm talking about people networking,
sure,
and meeting people. And as a customer, it's really nice to know. Hey, I can call Landon and be like, hey, my internet's down. Can you fix this? He's gonna pick up. Sure, I'll get it done right now.
For sure.
So it's awesome just to have that relationship with the customer and with the business.
Absolutely. And that's certainly the type of relationship I hope to gain with everybody here in Lawrenceburg.
Absolutely.
I want to continue growing,
Yeah.
with everybody knowing that I'm the local company here.
Exactly. Well, Landon, is there anything else you want to add? Because like I said, I know I probably missed some stuff.
I don't know. I think we've really hit on a lot of the major factors with my business, and I certainly look forward to providing these services to this great town that I've grown up in and giving back to our community. So.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you for sponsoring the show. Landon will have a page on my website here in the next couple of days, so keep a lookout for that to learn more about Cloud9 Fiber. Also, don't forget, if you're interested in getting fiber at your house, if you live in Lawrenceburg proper, I think you've got a website that you can go to register and say, hey, I want fiber, right?
Yes, cloud9fiber.com.
There you go.
There's a little
Simple.
request for service button.
There you go.
You just click it, enter your information, and that's really important. It shows us where people want internet.
Right.
So if we have it drops a dot on our map. So if we have lots of
There you
dots in a certain
Mhm.
area, we know, okay, we really need to look at growing there.
Right.
So certainly let your neighbors know, for those of you that don't have the best internet, and that's how we plan on moving forward.
And also, Cloud9 Wireless, I'll hit on this too. I think it's the same way you can request for service and
It's
see
the
if it's
same
in the
way.
area.
It is.
So like that's what we've got at our house, and it's speedy, quick too. I don't think we ever have a problem. So
Glad to hear that.
yeah, there's a testimonial for you. Anyways, well, Landon, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll hope to hear more here in a couple of months, or maybe
Sure.
middle of next year, about how fiber's going, because I
Would
know,
love
like I
to.
said, that's a big deal. So.
I appreciate it.
All right, absolutely. Tune in next week on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.